with the slideshow, and I will send this out to all of you so you will have it for your reference if you want to look back at it again. It also has some instructions on making the tassel book at the back end of the slideshow. So, and if you have any comments or anything at all that you want to share, just please put it in the chat. I know it can be awkward with these Zoom meetings and holding up your hand and all of that, but please feel free to comment, and I love to have that conversation happening. All right, so to start out with the first slide, it's just kind of the benefits for your mind and body. And I can't bump this, right, Liza? You have to do that. Okay, yeah, you can go ahead on. So, and you're welcome to read along, of course, but I mean, basically, you know, when we're practicing gratitude daily, it's a really easy way to kind of refocus our attention on kind of the positive things in our lives. You can reflect on small things in your life that make you feel great. You can think about joy, peace, hope, and there's so many benefits to it. Improved mental health, increased self-esteem, and also positive effects on your relationship. And they're almost immediate. After you're done gratitude journaling or just spending some moments in gratitude, you can immediately feel that sense of peace. So it's one of those like really quick fixes. You can go ahead, Liza. Some more benefits include reduced blood pressure, stress, depression, improved overall physical health, improved overall psychological health. It can actually reduce some of those toxic emotions that we carry in our bodies, like envy, resentment, regret, anger. It can also give you an enhanced ability to empathize with others and reduce your aggression. You may experience improved sleep. You might feel that your mental resilience is stronger, as well as kind of your levels of confidence and your self-esteem. This is one of my favorite quotes. Brene Brown says, "I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude." And that really leads into sort of this next slide, and that is that practicing gratitude is a mindful act, because what it does is it shifts your attention away from what you don't have, and it kind of reminds you of all the gifts that you do have, right? Because it's super easy for us to sink into that kind of depressed way of thinking of the things that we may or may not have, and they are real, right? We're not minimizing them, but kind of thinking about those really amazing things that we do have can kind of help to lift sometimes. Simple gratitude lists, reciting a joyful memory, and incorporating art are all ways that you can start a gratitude journal. So when I started, oh, there we go. Is it going too fast? When I started gratitude journaling several years ago, what I did was I kind of set up a plan. I like to get up in the morning, and morning is my best time. So I tend to, if I'm going to do it, it's pretty much a daily practice for me. I do it about 4:30 in the morning with my coffee in front of the fire. And it's really a kind of ritual that I'm into, and I do enjoy it. And it brings me a lot of peace. You can just grab your favorite pen, and you can, of course, you can buy a journal. We're going to make a great one today. I like to use super durable paper, and then you can explore with different mediums. So if you decide to try paint, or you know, something that is going to have to use like glue, collage, anything that's going to wet paper, you'll have that thicker paper to go along with it. And then begin writing. You can choose a prompt to help you get started, or you can just go for it. Adding drawings, designs, collages, photos, and experimenting with texts, fonts can all just kind of add to your experience, in my opinion. Okay, so I have about 10 starters for you guys, and they're listed on the next pages. And like I said, you'll be getting this, so you can read through them, but name 5 things that make you smile, reflect on how these affect your mood, write down 5 objects found in nature that you're grateful for, 4 actions that you can take to make another person happy, and then go out and put them into practice. Which 3 struggles have you overcome throughout your life, and how did these make you a better person? And it's just sort of getting you centered in that mode. You can take a deep breath, relax your mind and body, and let your thoughts flow. And then I have a few more. You can read those to yourself. And I think there is last 2. What place makes you feel inner peace? How can you bring part of this into your daily life? And then just creative outlets and how they make us feel. So all of those can be prompts that you can start your work with. I don't do this anymore, but when I began, it was hard. And I just would start a timer for 10 minutes, and I would just write for my 10 minutes. And if it wasn't continuous, that was okay. But it got me started, and it didn't feel stressful. And if you're just not sure how to start, even just breathing, doodling, it'll all ease the tension, and then hopefully center you for writing. If not, try again another day. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. I love that. And then the end there. So I'm going to walk you guys through this, but this was a great tool that I have. It's the Art and Craft of Handmade Books by Shireen LaPonce. And she just has so many great techniques in here that have expanded my awareness of how to make different books. So it's been great to have, and a great tool I've been using. So there are the directions for if you ever want to make another one, or maybe do it with a class. And the last just has my my information. I offer consulting, workshops, and retreat experiences in schools and organizations, and welcome to check out my website for more information. Okay, so that's it for the slideshow. We're going to get started on the bookmaking part. I don't know if anybody has any comments or thoughts. I'm just looking back through to see. I love all the diversity here with everyone that decided to come today. So it's great. All right, so for today, I want everyone just, I think, I do samples, and I do the samples because I have them hanging right here. I'm going to reach over and grab them. I did 4 samples for you all today, just to see the different ways that you can approach this. And there are so many ways. I just hung them on a wreath holder. But as you can see, I've used a lot of different papers. This was just some plain paper. I made one with just 3 pages. This is black I used white pen. And then this one I had a lot of fun with. I like to get kind of with my collage and all that. So I have a little door here. It says, open the door to gratitude, what will you find? And I did put a lot of different elements on it, some collage and paint and find gratitude in darkness, some writing that I did. But the idea of showing you these is not so you can copy it. I hope that everyone feels that they can use their own creativity today, because that's what this is about. This is for you. And if all you have is a brown bag, then the brown bag will work. And that's the beauty of this book. It's so amazingly simple to create, as long as you can get your pages pretty even by tearing. If you didn't have scissors, it would still work. I was kind of shocked doing it, because I was reading through the directions and I was like, oh, wow, I wonder how this is going to come out. This is a little overwhelming. And then I started doing it, and it was just like, it all came together. And my son came out and he's like, wow, that's cool, Mom. And I was like, I know, it is cool. And I love that they spin, because even if you only have one and you hang it in the window, it's kind of like it's wide open. And just look at your gratitude every day, right? So I love that. And I'm going to walk you guys through how to do this right now. So hang this back up over here. All right, so you do not need a lot of supplies for this book. I have today, I'm going to use my brown paper. So as you can see, you can use any size. This is pretty large that I'm going to use today. I'm going to put my webcam down so that you can see me folding it. But you just want to get them out, and you can use as many as you like. So if you just use 2 sheets, you're just going to have like a 3-page book, right? But if you use more sheets, you're going to have more pages in your book. It is helpful to have glue, I found. So if you have glue stick or glue handy, or even just tape. I did my first one with tape and it stayed together pretty well. But I do recommend some, even just Elmer's. This is good. Let's check the chat. So if you want to get your paper ready, and all right. Came down. All right, so what we're going to do to start is we're going to make what's called a concert. And the way that you do this is you can fold it either this way, straight across, okay? Or, and everyone see all right? If you cannot see, please just let me know. Or you can fold it this way. It's really up to you. I'm going to go this way because I love the way mine came out long like that. So I'm just going to take my sheet and I'm going to crease it as even as I can. And I'm just going to fold it in half. And I'm going to open it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If I have, I wasn't, I'm going to put my camera on.
Okay.
I bought cardstock, but then I heard what you were saying. So I ran and I grabbed this paper. It's a little thicker. If it's got stuff on one side, does it matter which way you do it?
Not at all. No, not at all. Because you could always collage right on top and then, have a clear space to write. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Sure. All right. Okay, so we have our first page in half, and then that way we're okay. And then you're just going to open them back up and do one at a time, and you're going to fold it in to meet the center. So I'm taking 1/2 and I'm folding it in to meet that center line. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So as I folded both of those halves in to meet my center half, and I'm just going to open it back up. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. So opening it back up and folding it in. To meet the center edge, and then again to meet the center crease. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do like almost an accordion fold. So we're going to take this as it's open, and we're just going to fold it backwards and recrease it. So I have taken it and I've folded it back. So it's open with the edge toward me, folded it in, and then I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to crease it in, and I'm going to flip it and crease it in. So when it's done, I'll do the other one too, and then it looks like this. It's like an M.
Sure. Do you have to use the same kind of paper for all of the pages, or could you sort of mix it up and do like watercolor and tracing paper? And
I think you could absolutely mix it up for sure. Yeah, I see no problem with it. Tracing paper could be, I think, a little too thin, but yeah, you could try it and see how it works. Yeah, give it a shot. Okay, and then so this other one, so same thing. So I'm basically you're just flipping it back and forth, creating that M again. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay. So we have our two sheets. If anyone is not with me, I'm going to put my webcam off now. So I think we're all set with that. Is everyone with me here? Okay, great. All right, good. So now what we're going to do is you get to seal this onto here. So you're essentially going to make this much bigger. So this is now a long sheet. So taking my 2 pages, they're standing up, and I'm just going to glue them together, tape them together in some way, fasten them together so that you have this longer piece. Now, if you want more pages in your book, you would just do more of these. Okay, so the less pages you have, the less pages in your overall book that you will see. So it's your choice how many pages you want in it for your first one. You know, this could be your kind of your practice one, and then go on later and create, you know, something else too. So you will have those directions. All right, so I'm going to take my glue. I have my Elmer's glue here.
Hey, Shar.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Two things. So for someone who's just joined us, can you just hold your folded paper so they can quick get an idea of what we've done? Folded it in half.
Yeah, I can actually do a couple more. So I have a whole pad here, so I'll just.
And there's a question in the chat. The folding, is it folded M to M or M to W?
I think that would be depending on which way you decide to hold the paper, maybe M to M. I have 2 M's. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put my webcam down for people that just joined to see those folds again. So we're just going to fold it in half. And we're going to try our best to keep these creases straight as possible. And open it back up. You're going to crease each side into the center crease. So, crease it in. And crease it in. Okay. Open it back up. And you're going to do an accordion fold back and forth. So it's fold it in, then flipped, and fold it in, and then again. And when you're done, you have an M or W, depending on which way you have decided to look at it, right? Okay.
Okay, but I think I get the question now. The paper should consistently follow the same accordion pattern when you glue it.
Absolutely, yes, I understand that now too. Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. So I have my three sheets, and I'm going to keep them all in the M. I'm going to go with an M, and I'm going to glue each side to the side before it to create one very large sheet of paper. So I'm going to take my glue here. And you may have to just kind of press and hold. That's what I noticed with the Elmer's glue. Some of these heavier papers, if you do have like a cardstock or something that you're using, you really do have to hold it. So take your time and just make sure that those are really sealed on well. Oops. And I love adding the collage elements. You know, if you're just using white paper and you want to change part of it, brown bags are great. I have I like to buy soap sometimes, and I'll save the wrappers on the soaps. Different papers, that envelopes that come that are interesting. So you can always rip those up and add them on top and have them as an added aesthetic element to your book. And you could always add more pages in using glue later. If you decided to, you wouldn't be able to tie them in unless you untied your book, but you would definitely be able to add them in just by creating fold outs or pop-ups. That could be something more to experiment with. Okay, so I'm just making sure this is really sealed in tight here. I'm just pressing it together. It seems pretty good. So we'll move on. I'll give you guys another minute. If you just want to give a thumbs up when you're ready, or put it in the chat. The video's off. Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying, Sarah. Okay, great. Yeah, looks like I'm probably gonna have 3 pages for mine. Okay, so you're gonna, if you have your book all the way together at this point, okay, this is what it's looking like. So we'll need one more gluing. So you're gonna glue the last 2 together. So you will have a totally enclosed creation after you've glued everything together, and it will look like some sort of a star shape depending on how many pages you have. It may look like an asterisk or something. A couple of mine had, because they had more pages, looked more like a star. So it really just depends on how many pages you've used, what your exact shape will be. But I'm keeping them folded like this when I seal those last 2 together. Okay. This also makes for some really thick pages, and there are definitely variations on this. Like if you figure out another way that you want to attach them together, go for it.
Charlene, I kind of got lost on that last bit.
Okay, yeah.
Can you explain? I'm not sure which parts to put together.
Absolutely. So my book is all the way together here.
Yeah.
We got my pages. Yeah, looks great. Perfect. Okay. And now I'm just going to take these last 2 pages on the outer edges, and I'm just going to hook them together, but I'm going to make sure that they're still forming the pointed edges. Can you guys see that okay there? So I'm going to glue mine in like that. You see that okay?
I'm kind of not getting that.
So depending on how many sheets you use, it may look a little bit different. So if you take your hands, so your hands are on the edges, and you're just gonna kind of fold those last 2 in. Yeah, and then bring them together. And you should have your point. So you want I think you just need to scooch your pages in together more, maybe even refold some of them the opposite direction. Yep. So you're going to take those. That's it. You got it. There you
Maybe it's
go.
where I taped
Yeah.
them.
It's a little, yeah, maybe a little refolding.
Yeah, I'll try that. Thank you.
Okay. And then we're just gonna. So the other, hopefully that works for you. Let's see how it works. Yeah, try it. And, yep, so now, perfect. That looks good.
Okay.
Yeah, Gay, I think you got it. You're welcome. Yep.
Although
Okay.
Shar, is that, Gay, can you flip your book up? Yeah. Okay. So is it like that, or is it like fold them in and then to the back side glue them?
So you want all of them to be in a star shape, because our next step is going to bring them in together with the string. So yeah, you want yours to be making that same point. So whatever way you have to bend it in, even if it's sealing two sheets together,
Yep.
you want, yeah, you definitely want to do that. You don't want to have
Okay.
a square there, a rectangle shape.
Okay. Feel free, keep going. I'll figure it out. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Well, it
Sorry.
looks people have lots of variations from what I can see of the few that I'm seeing here. I'm definitely seeing variations. So there's no right or wrong. It's however it comes out is how it's meant to be. That's really how I look at art. So I think it's great that you're doing it. So I think it's, going to be awesome. All right. Our next step here is to get our strings ready. So for the strings, you want one string to go through each section of this. Okay. So in order to do that, I am going to cut pieces of string about 24 inches or so. And I'm going to cut 3 of them. Now, if you want to double up because you want to have more colors or something, you can certainly cut more. But it's really up to you how you want that done. So I have my red thread here, and I'm going to make it about 24 inches, and I'm going to cut it. And also too, it's going to depend on how big your book is. You want it to be about twice the size of your book. So if your book is 6 inches, you can get away with less yarn, string, hemp, whatever your ribbon, whatever you're using. All right, so I have my pieces here, and I'm going to get 3 ready. So I have 3 sections that I'm going to need to put through. So if you have 6 pages, you're going to want 6 strings.
And Shar, it might be a couple of people might benefit from a little support.
Okay.
I mean, I think even there are like few enough people. I think it could be that they turn on their cameras and show you, but I'll be quiet.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, so
How many sheets of paper did you use? 3?
I did use 3. Yep.
Okay. And then is it when you glue it, is it the back of one paper to the front of the other paper, or are they?
Yeah, so you basically want to maintain that shape of them pointing outwards. You don't want it, you want that triangular shape, that star shape. You don't want to have any kind of rectangles or squares when you're gluing.
Can you pull yours out a little bit, like pull it out?
Yeah. So when you open it up more, I can just actually put it back together again.
So you are doing back to back, like you're doing.
I did do back to back.
Okay, that's how I had it first, but then it didn't look like the other ladies, so I redid it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're doing back to back.
Sick. So it's open up wide, and I did put it back to back. So I have these extra little flappies in mine because of the way that I glued it in.
All right, that's how mine did look. All right.
Okay.
And then let me gotta redo it now.
Yeah. So Mary, that should be fine. Yeah.
think that's where, I think the whole back to back, or if we were doing like, I think that's where probably people were getting confused because it was hard
Okay.
to.
So does it help opening it back up for people to
Yeah.
see it again? Yeah, I
That's
think if
good.
people are having problems, definitely having the camera on to share where you're at is
Right, so keep it
certainly
there.
helpful. Yeah, so Sarah, you're gonna wanna glue those together like that. Yeah, seal them in. And then you're gonna take your end pieces and you're just going to do the same thing there. I'm actually gonna try something here because I'm just curious what will happen if I decide to open it and do it this way. Now it looks like I'm going to have some more sheets. So I'm gonna try that this time. So I'm glad I reopened it. So, yep, so Sarah, you have, okay, so you have two, you're making two? Oh, nice, awesome, I love that. All right, so.
So how big was your paper? 8.5 by 11?
No, my paper's
Ah.
larger than that. Yeah, I am using
Okay.
extra large paper. It's
That's what's throwing it
11.
off too, probably then. Okay.
yeah.
Or
it's
actually,
11.
it is gonna be different if we're using 8.5 by 11.
Yeah, I mean, I use 8.5 by 11 for actually no, I didn't use any 8.5 by 11. This is like a tiny 7 by 5 sheet and then some other sizes. So any size will work. It doesn't matter what size you use, it will all work.
All right. So
All
can you
right.
show that last step of putting those edges together again?
Yeah, absolutely. So
Okay.
I'm taking my
Yeah.
edges
Uh-huh.
and
Oh my
yeah.
God. Okay. All righty.
And then
Okay.
because my paper had been kind of bent back and forth so much, it seems like it's creasing really well. And then I push it together and I have this, I've actually have more pages now. So that worked out.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to cut myself some more strings because when I'm opening this up, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages now. So I'm going to get my 6 strings. And if you're already to that point, you're going to want to start grouping them together into a clump so that they're all together. And if they're not exactly the same size, it's fine because they're just going to be slightly different at the bottom when you start doing the tassel part of it. So. Is everyone else okay? Does anyone else have comments that I have 6 sections? Mary, okay.
So we're cutting string for each.
Yeah. Yeah.
Each section.
Yeah. Yes, for each section you want to have the strings. And then once you have those, have them together like this, and you're just going to tie a knot at the top of them and put them all together. So just making sure that I'm just going to wrap it around my finger, push it through there, and then that's my knot. You can double it if you want. Sorry, my knot. All right. Okay. Now this can be a little tricky, but I think you guys will be all right. So we're going to kind of lay this at the top. So you're going to have to hold it like this in front of you, and you're going to lay it at the top, and then you're going to put it through each section. So you're going to take one string and you're going to lay it. I'm going to have to re-glue mine. It came apart. You're going to lay it at the, I don't know how well you guys can see this. You're going to lay a string in each section of your pages. Does that make sense?
Inside or outside?
So far I have one string laying on the top here.
Okay.
You guys see that? And then I'm going to take my next string, and it's easier when it's standing up. So definitely keep it upright. Take my next string and I'm going to lay it in my next page. And so on until you've draped them all in. I have to reglue this really quick. And then once they are all draped, you can just let it go for a second and we'll all get on the same step.
Can you show that again? I
Yeah.
cut
Yeah.
the wrong number of strings because
How many
I was following what you did, and then I heard, I don't know, I thought it was one for each page, but it sounds like it's 2 for each page. So I
No.
had to cut more string.
You should only need 1 for each section of your book. So if you have 6 sections or 6 pages to write on, then you should only need.
Can we base that on how many pieces of paper we used? Because I don't know what you mean by that.
Can you hold your book up? Okay, so push it together to make your star shape.
I don't think it's going to make a star.
Oh, okay. So when it's standing upright, can you lay your strings right on top? Just like,
Oh, just randomly anywhere.
yeah, so you're just taking this clump that you tied together and you're laying it on top of it, and then you're just draping a string through each section. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so did you get that? Did that make sense for you? A little
I'm
bit?
just trying to get them apart. That's all.
Yeah, they do stick together. I used a different kind of a yarn, and it was extra difficult last time. So depending on which kind of yarn you pick, they can get kind of sticky. So I'm kind of holding my knot up here at the top, and I'm not going to let go of it. Okay, and I'm going to really carefully at the same time, I'm going to grab my paper, and with my hand on my knot and my paper, I'm going to grab all my strings at the bottom and pull them together in my separate pages, and then you can release the top. Okay, so at this point, it should be pretty well together, and you can now knot the bottom. So you're just, again, doing that knot kind of as closely as you can to the base of your book. You can just take your, if anyone is stuck or not sure, just.
I quit.
Oh no.
I can't do it.
Is that Kelly? Yeah, I can't hear you.
It's not working. I can't get it to stay there and then get to the pages. So I'm clearly not getting it, but thank you.
Okay, well, maybe if you look back through the PowerPoint, you'll be able to see it better, but I'm more than welcome. I mean, I don't mind walking you back through it if you want to try again, or I can try to. Anybody else having a hard time with it? Okay, so we're all knotted. So at this point, I'm gonna admit someone here. At this point, you get to start kind of that gratitude journaling. So now is the part that kind of reflection, thinking about, yeah, the PowerPoint, great, thanks, Liza. So people can use that if they need to. If you have other materials, we have our tassel at the bottom, and at the top you have your, where it can hang, right? So you can always loop another string just underneath. That's what I did, and then it was able to hang up. And then you can begin your process, and it will spin. If everyone wants to hold them up so we can see, Heather's looks great. Awesome. Kathy looks great. Oh, yay. Mary, Sarah, awesome. Sarah Pelletier, how are you doing? You getting your ribbons? Oh, I like those ribbons. I can't hear you. I'm not sure what you're saying.
I don't know what I'm saying either. I'm half laughing at myself because I was like, oh, this is simple. What is wrong with all these people? They can't figure this out. And then I'm like, oh no, I did it wrong.
I think it
So
can get a little confusing with the
Yeah.
putting the strings on because they do stick together. But if you get them through each page and then you just pull, it's like magic. It just starts working, and you're like, oh wow.
It took me a while to figure out. Can you go back through like how to put
Yeah.
them? I know where to put the strings itself. I just don't know how to pull it through.
Sure. So did you drape them into each page? Okay.
Yes.
So now with the hand that's holding the ribbon, you're going to carefully lift the book and keep the ribbon in your hand too. That's the tricky part. You have to kind of multitask with the
Oh,
two.
I get it. Okay, that's
And
my
then-
issue.
With your free hand, grab the bottom.
Okay, so I
So
didn't
lift
grab
it up.
that. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna mute myself. I've got shit show.
That's okay. Yeah.
Is
So
it
just
all right if I also offered another way that might be a little bit less coordination to kind of to put in those yarns? Would that be all right if I
great.
offered another
Yes.
suggestion?
Absolutely.
So what I'm thinking, so I'll just kind of tilt this down here so you can see a little bit better. So instead of holding it up while you're doing this and kind of coordinating through, I would
Yeah.
recommend if you have a piece of paper or the surface you're working on, put it on top as if it's a bookmark.
Mhm.
And then you put one thread through, like have your bookmark, and then you can put the others aside, turn your page,
Absolutely.
put the
That's a
other
great idea.
bookmark through, then go ahead and turn the page, put your another bookmark through, go ahead to turn the page, and put the last one down. And then all you have to do is pinch the yarns at the bottom to be
Oh, I
able
love
to
that.
tie them together. So it's more of like a bookmark, and then you don't have to hold and kind of coordinate the two together. So again, you can kind of put them at the top of your page, put
Yeah.
all of them together, put them aside, to then turn a page, put the other one down, turn a page, put another yarn down, turn a page, last one, pinch, and then tie, and it will all kind of hold together. That's a little bit easier for coordinating than holding.
That's amazing. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's a great technique for doing that. It does make it easy for sure. If people are having problems with grabbing the whole thing, absolutely. Thank you, Sarah. All right, great. Does anyone else want to jump on, share a book? How did it go, Sarah? Were you able to, the other Sarah, were you able to get it? Awesome. Okay, great.
Charlene, I just had a question, like I did it, but mine doesn't really look like a book. It looks like a
Okay.
kind of pretty decoration. Like would each of these little sections be where I journal? Is that the idea?
Yeah, that's the idea. It's more of an open book. Like I said, it's really meant to hang somewhere where you can really see it. It's not a
Okay.
closed book. So it's one of the reasons why I picked this book for this workshop, because I just love the idea of the gratitude being in your constant sight.
Okay.
So yeah, it isn't
Like I
like,
would just write here on this little section.
yeah, absolutely. You can just write
Okay.
on each side.
Sure.
'Cause
Do
I
you want
thought I
to
made a lantern. A nice lantern.
Oh, it looks like a lantern.
That's what I think, in a pretty way.
Okay, yeah, it does look like a lantern. I mean, if it was decorated and it had the gratitude on it, it's a gratitude lantern for sure. I love it. It's great.
Sure. Do you want to show one of the Tassel books, a gratitude journal that you've completed?
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems like you have some hanging. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can go through some techniques. So for this, this white one, I haven't done anything on it yet. And this smaller brown one that I did, but the black one, I did not use any of the prompts per se for these, but I used a white pen and I wrote, I am grateful for choice. Gratitude for the power to choose. I'm thankful and grateful for my family. I wrote gratitude lots of different ways. And then on this one, I added my collage elements that I had. I added some watercolor paint. I actually ended up adding the collage. The collage came to me because I accidentally used a plastic type of a glue. My husband was super kind and went and got me glue, but it was plastic glue and I didn't realize that. So there was all this plasticky, like you can't see it probably on the screen, but I wanted to cover it. So it ended up making it, I think, even more beautiful because I love all the texture and everything. But so I have some paint and some design. Open the door to gratitude. What will you find? Find gratitude in darkness. I give thanks for my resilience. I was thinking about some of the prompts, some things that I've overcome and my own resilience that has definitely been expanded because of it. Express gratitude daily, find peace in my heart, abundance is everywhere, and gratitude is giving. So, you know, thinking about like journaling, I think that for some people that can be intimidating, thinking about writing every day or having some requirement of how much you have to write every day. And so I think just jotting down even those few words sometimes, it can get the ball rolling and it's enough, right? Whatever is coming to you is enough. I think that's kind of the takeaway from it. So if you're not feeling like you want to, you know, cover every page with all your text that's suddenly right there, that's okay. And if it is, great. But yeah, so I have some colored pencil. Colored pencil looks great on the black. I like that. White pen. You ever, the jelly roll pens. I don't know if you guys know about these, but they're super cool. They come in every color. I always like the white. And these are just, my son uses these. They're like paper mate pens. You don't have to buy, you know, expensive things to get it done. Unless of course you want like a fancy pen or something that you're always going to use and it's kind of part of your ritual. Some people do like to do that. And then I have some watercolor paints here. So all these things can really be incorporated into your work. And I think that it gives it more presence and it makes it more special and meaningful. Does anyone have any questions? I don't know what time it is, Liza. I feel like I don't want to give people time to work, but I'm not sure how much time is left. Oh, okay, I see it here. 4:25.
Yeah, it's 4:23. I mean, I think if people want to keep working and show what they have, and certainly if anyone has questions with the last few minutes that we have left.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would love to see what people have done and if they want to share anything that they've
Hello,
added.
Charlene. Hello.
Hi, Tanya. Thanks for
I
coming.
just wanted to pop in. I'm really late. I'm not even prepared with supplies. I just wanted to see what the workshop was like. Next time I'll be prepared. I miss you so much. I just want to sit here and see what's going on. I love what you're doing.
I'm so happy that you came.
Yeah, and it is awesome now that I'm retired and these are the things that I need to be doing. I will definitely be here. You know, I'm not the best artist, but this will help me.
Fantastic. This is amazing. I'm so happy that you're here. I worked with Tanya at the Adair School in Philadelphia for many years. So I'm super happy that you came, Tanya. I miss you too.
All right.
And this will be recorded too, like Liza said. So if anyone wants to go back and like redo and look again and see instructions or something, they will be written down in the PowerPoint and then also on the webinar. So if anyone has anything else you want to share to see more.
Just a thought. I started with small pieces of paper. I think they were only 7 by 9 inches. And I think that made it easier for me because I didn't have this unwieldy paper to try to figure out. And so maybe if anybody was struggling, maybe try a smaller cut might help. And then once you figure out what you're doing, then you could you know what it's supposed to be like, and then you
Mhm.
could use bigger paper.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that idea. That sounds great. Yeah, I think any small paper would work. And I've even seen these done as minis. Like they're really tiny. They're so cute. They're just these little tiny books. So maybe about like, I don't know, 3 inches high or something. So yeah, I think tiny is great and definitely easier to work with. And I don't know if Sarah, yeah, she looks like she's still here, but I love how she showed you all how to easily flip that through. Oh, thank you, Sarah, for sharing. Yeah. I do hope that everybody gets a chance to use them and maybe even add more into them later. I like adding tiny envelopes and different things onto things to kind of tuck little trinkets in, or you know, you have your little doors and windows that you can add on. So they have lots of potential. And I hope that it wasn't too difficult to follow along. I know some people were struggling, but I hope that overall it was a fun experience that you were able to take a lot from. Anyone else have one to share?
This was so fun and fabulous, Shar. Thank you so much. And I just wanted to point out the prompts that you shared are embedded in the slideshow. So I put that link in there and we'll get it emailed out to everyone as well.
Perfect. Love it. Sounds great. Look at the chat.